Welcome to the campus of Boys Latin, where the BL Lakers will host the McDonogh Eagles in the first round of the MIAA quarterfinals. Thanks for joining us on CUDA.com. I'm Booker Corrigan, joined by Inside Lacrosse writer Ty Zanders. Ty, these are two teams, rematch of last year's first round, rematch of Tuesday's thriller over at McDonogh. The rematch of last year sees a lot of the main players in that game have now moved on to Division I stardom. What can we expect today from these two squads?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of players in these teams who played in that 8-7 quarterfinal last year are moved on to Division I ranks. That does not mean there's not plenty of talent on these two teams.
And let's get right into the visiting McDonogh Eagles in their road orange. Ty, who can we expect to see really getting stuff done for the Eagles?
Well, it's all young guys for the McDonogh Eagles. Austin Frederick's a player I've been very impressed with. He's emerged as one of the premier midfielders in the conference. He's headed to Villanova in a few years, scored 4 goals, I believe, in Tuesday's 8-7 loss to Boys Latin. In cage, Nick Doyle has been phenomenal, allowing less than 7 goals a game. He's headed to Ohio State. And then they've got some freshmen, sophomores in midfield who definitely produce today.
And for the BL Lakers, look no further than goaltender Christian Knight, who is the Under Armour All-American Underclassman Player of the Game on Tuesday. He anchors that great defense along with Mac the Knife Pons and Matty Reese. The face-off twosome of Hunter Moreland and Brian Lichtenauer will look to jumpstart the Laker offense and get the ball down to Colin Chell, Colin Heacock, and of course, Shaq Stanwyck. We will be back with the opening face-off here from J. Duncan Smith Field. Thanks for making CUDA.com the game of the week, presented by Royal Farms, part of your sports viewing.
Who's facing off for these guys?
Opening up with the face-off for the playoff season,
That's
MIAA lacrosse quarterfinals.
For the
Hunter
Eagles,
Moreland
Blaze,
and Hillblaze
for the
getting
Lakers,
after it.
number 11, Hunter Moreland.
Look down and see Nick Shepard on the wing for the Lakers. He's done such a nice job coming on this year. First ball contested at midfield. Moreland boots it down. McGee almost comes up with it, but now it's a hot, sloppy mess towards the front of the crease, and Christian Knight comes up with it for the Lakers. Booker Corrigan and Inside Lacrosse writer Ty Zanders bringing you playoff action. Matty Reese is going to have a run. Takes a trail check, and the Eagles come away with possession. Jeff Davis gets it up to Robert Clark, and the Eagles will settle it into the box. First real possession of the game, just getting going here at J. Duncan Smith Field. Boys Latin in their home, white, McDonogh road orange. And as Austin Frederick pushes it around, Ty Zanders, let's talk about keys for the Eagles today.
I think with how young this Eagles squad is, to be important for their young guns to step up and not get rattled. You know, if they make a mistake, just go on to the next play. I think that's the biggest key for the Eagles today.
And Brandon, I gave my love a chair. He's got a clear-cut 4-on-3 here for the Lakers. Quick pass to Stanwyck, down low. Great bite just wide.
Shot out of bounds, remains a Laker ball. Inbounding, Colin Heacock.
Heacock with the backup for the Lakers. Looks like the matchups today, Jeff Davis draws Heacock and Alex Hurdle against Shaq Stanwyck.
I would say that's 2 rising stars in the MIAA, but Shaq Stanwyck was second on the team in points last year behind his brother Wells Stanwyck.
Tal Bruno, backdoor cut, shot, goal. Bruno gets it from Michael Lynch.
Bruno with a backdoor cut for a score.
Great pass by Michael Lynch. And
Great
at the
feed, Michael
10-22
Lynch.
mark, the
Lynch
Lakers
to
are
Bruno,
on the board.
1-0, 10-22 here in the first quarter.
First quarter brought to you by the Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club. Check out their new prospect camp.
Brian Lichtenauer for the Lakers.
The Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club, solely involved in the CUDA Game of the Week to support the efforts of these fine athletes and coaches. And you can already tell ground balls are going to be key as always today, but they even seem to be taking a more important role early here at Boys Latin.
I think bottom line, these teams are very evenly matched. We saw that on Tuesday with the Lakers pulling out an 8-7 victory, with the third quarter really being the difference maker, with Lakers scoring 4 straight and then McDonogh scoring 4 straight. Very evenly matched squads here. Face-off pretty even, goalie play pretty even. Offense probably edge to BL. Defense probably edge to McDonogh, so you gotta love it.
Freshman Robert Clark comes up top, gets it to McGee, and it's back in the stick of Frederick. Frederick pushes it across to Rob Black. Black going against Gasaldi. Turns back, gets it to Frederick. Here's Vallis. Vallis has a bit of a step shot just wide. Loose ball handled by Shepard, and he gets it up to Brandon Cherry. No real numbers advantage, Ty. Let's talk about keys to victory for the BL Lakers today.
I think plain and simple, it's got to be midfield play. I've been very impressed with McDonogh's midfield play, so if guys like Tal Bruno and Michael Lynch and Ben Prodmer have big days, then it's going to be a long day for the Eagles.
Heacock, top center, guarded by Davis. Comes off the pick from Casey Reese and pushes it behind. Here's Shaq Stanwyck going against Alex Hurdle. A great matchup on Tuesday, and two guys who are thrilled about being on AstroTurf today.
Those were brutal conditions, Book.
Keegan O'Connor pushes it across the top again. Heacock playing more of an invert role today.
I think that's what's dangerous about BL is they can attack you from different angles. You know, they have so much talent and attack in midfield that you know, they'll take you from X, they'll take you from up top. Several invert situations.
T. Moyer on the invert, gets it over to Stanwyck.
Got out of
Stanwyck
bounds.
shot wide.
T. Moyer to inbounds.
Make Royal Farms your first stop before and after every game for custom-built subs and wraps, healthy snacks, drinks, fresh brewed coffee, Western fries, and of course, Royal Farms delicious, world-famous fresh, never frozen chicken. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast.
Enjoy the emergence of T. Moyer for the Boys Latin Lakers. I believe he was out much of the year with a collarbone or shoulder injury and stepped in, and is really a key contributor in that second line.
Heacock pulls a crazy Ivan, comes out to port side, slings it just high, just wide. 7:52 to go first quarter. Stanwyck on the backup. And Stanwyck clearly in the crease. Easy call.
Crease
Referees
violation.
for today's
Eagle ball
game.
to clear.
Carmen D. John Domenico, Richard Montgomery McGee, and in a change, George Clinton stepping in for Maceo Parker. C.J. Richardson doing the clearing for the Eagles. And now it's Robert Clark squared up against Big Tom Brown. First quarter brought to you by the Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club. They have a new prospect camp this summer. Make sure you register for that prospect camp if you are a 7th or 8th grader. Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club, great organization, great people. Vallis, split dodge, slid to by O'Connor, gets a step shot. What a save by Christian Knight! Foot save by Knight. Bounce pass, it's gonna get scooped by Keegan O'Connor. A moment of trepidation for the BL fans as that ball creeped towards the sideline. Behind the cage to Stanwyck, and now in for Pridemore shot. Great save, Nick Doyle.
Shot out of bounds. McDonogh ball to clear.
Sexually transmitted infections such as chlamydia and gonorrhea can have serious health consequences, but these infections are easy to treat. So if you think you might be infected, talk to your healthcare provider or get tested free at your local public health clinic. It's fast and it's easy. You don't even need a blood sample. If you test negative, great. If not, it's a step towards getting the treatment you need. BD, helping all people live healthy lives. Go to bd.com to learn more. Andrew White doing the clear for the Eagles. And Justin Whitfeld in on midfield along with Andrew White. And Grant Ringelman rounds out that second midfield group for the Eagles. Backside feed to Ringelman. And Nick Shepard steps in, plays good position defense right there.
Midfield defense so important in lacrosse. I really like that area for the Boys Latin Lakers. Nick Shepard, as you mentioned, Booker, done a really good job this year. Brandon Cherry, you've already seen be crucial in the transition opportunities, getting those ground balls on the opposite side and bringing it over. So important for every team to have that guy who excels in transition, and Cherry's that guy for the Lakers.
Short stick D middies, Ty, you're exactly right, are vital to the success in men's lacrosse at every level.
And many coaches will say that, they're the pride and soul of the team. Heart and soul of the team, excuse me.
Slap check by Reese, ground ball picked up by Brown. Brown now looking for some openings to just get rid of it. Does so, inside feed shot, what a save by Nick Doyle. Not you, fat Jesus. And now it's Shinsky for the Eagles. Andrew White cranks it a couple times, gets it over to Evan Glazer. Glazer, one of the few seniors you're going to see on this field today. And there's the defense of Mac the Knife Pons. Just a simple lift check. Such good position defense out of Mac Pons this year.
And we're seeing much more pace today than we saw on Tuesday. A little bit of a slow down game. Tough conditions, as we mentioned. Now they're playing on turf. So I think we'll see a whole lot of transition. We already have.
CUDA.com and Royal Farms bringing you games of the week all spring long. 2012, an amazing year for CUDA.com and Royal Farms. Vallis gets a step, trail check by Shepard, and a great ground ball pickup by Gasaldi. Gasaldi looking all the way across the field has Matty Reese, and now Reese has the 4-on-3 for the Lakers. Shot by Reese, handled by Doyle, and Doyle quickly up the field, and Robert Clark comes up with it for the Eagles.
Quite frankly, Booker, I don't think Nick Doyle gets enough love when it comes to top goalies in the MIAA. Already has 3 beautiful saves so far, showing he's up there with guys like Brian Moore, Dimitri Pakunis, and Chris Thomas.
Flag on the field as Clark drives lefty, and now it's Glazer. Glazer using that 2-man game. BL, too many guys on the field, as happens a lot in the games when the ball gets going up and down the field. That's when subs get a little bit thrown off. This man up brought to you by The Power Shaft. Go to thepowershaft.com to get your hands on the only weighted lacrosse shaft training device. Every position on the field can benefit by having a power shaft.
Flag on the field, technical violation. McDonogh Eagles will be man advantage for up to 30 seconds.
In a high school and college, we're starting to see, coaches just run the box. That's so important in lacrosse. Just one mistake in terms of subbing, and you could find yourself in a pretty unfortunate situation. Not hard to just rattle off some EMO goals.
First quarter brought to you by the Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club. Clark rolls it down to Glazer. Looking inside feed, Robert Black shot goal. Great feed by Austin Frederick and a nifty finish on the
Robbie
inside
Black on the score.
by Robbie Black.
Austin Frederick on the assist.
And thereby ends the
1-1,
first half
2:23
race
to
to
go here
nifty.
in the first quarter.
I don't know which reaction was
Taking
more
the face-off,
demonstrative.
Hill Blaze for the Eagles, Hunter Moreland for the Lakers.
The BL defense or Ty Sanders when he heard the nifty.
It took you long enough, man. I can't believe it took us long enough to.
It took you longer. Moreland wins the faceoff, pushes it forward to Stanwyck. Stanwyck going against Alex Hurdle. Hurdle bound for Notre Dame. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish playing Yale in the first round of the NCAA playoffs out at Arlotta Stadium. And Ben Pridemore, another Notre Dame soon-to-be Fighting Irish midfielder, but he's got unfinished business here on Lake Avenue.
Fun matchup today because we'll see so many of these guys, have huge roles next year. Just so much youth in these two teams. And like you said, they're count on one hand seniors making impacts in these two teams combined.
Tal Bruno comes out right. He pushes it behind to Heacock. Heacock gets the pick from Bruno and now has a shorty on him. But that did not last long. But now Pike. Shot comes out early on Pike. Little size difference between Pike and Doyle down here in the corner. Long pass by Doyle, handled by Sweeney.
I mean, that's like a defensive lineman chasing after a little punt returner.
And now we get a whistle on the far side. Remind you,
player stepping out of bounds, and it'll be Laker ball to clear.
Make Royal Farms your first stop before and after every game for everything from custom-built subs and wraps, healthy snacks, drinks, fresh brewed coffee, Western fries, and of course, Royal Farms' delicious, world-famous, fresh, never frozen chicken. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast. I already had a couple guys come up to me with the Royal Farms Cup to win the free Under Armour shirt. Great day for lacrosse here at BL. Stanwyck going against Jeff Davis. Of course, Jeff Davis, former president of the Confederacy, now defenseman for the Eagles. Errant pass picked up momentarily by Shinsky, but the ball quickly moved. And Levin shot out of bounds. It's going to be McDonogh ball. 13 seconds to go in the first quarter. First quarter brought to you by the Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club. Make sure you check out their prospect camp for rising 7th and 8th graders. The prospect camp, check out their website. Baltimore Crabs Lacrosse Club, tremendous organization. Inside feed, falls to the turf, 1-1, end of the first quarter. CUDA.com and Royal Farms bringing you amazing high school lacrosse action. We'll be back with the second quarter, don't miss it.